Okay, and what's your name?
Miss Aisha Voltz.
Aisha Voltz? Okay. Can you please tell me when and where you was born?
I was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. When? October 11th, 1980.
Okay. And, like, how did your family get to Texas?
Okay. Well, when I was around 12, we moved to Killeen, Texas, which is home of Fort Hood. My stepdad was a member of the Army, and he was stationed to Fort Hood, and that's when we made the transition out to move to Killeen, Texas.
Okay. And, can you tell me, like, what do you remember about your childhood?
In what aspect?
Any aspect. Do you have, like a good childhood, bad childhood?
I would fairly say I had a good childhood for my upbringing. My father passed away when I was 4 years old, so that was kind of a absent in my life. But I won't say that it was a damper or it affected my life any kind of way. I was raised mostly in a single parent home with my mother. To me, that was normal. I didn't feel like I was losing out, or I didn't feel like less than or anything. To me, that was normal. So all my life I lived in what you would call a suburb neighborhood. The school I attended was mixed race neighborhood schooling. So as far as my upbringing, to me, it was a good upbringing for me.
Oh, okay. And what made you choose Texas Southern?
When I was going to high school within Killeen, Texas, my friends and I always wanted to go to an HBCU. And it was always Howard or FAMU. Those was the top two that we all decided that we was going to go to, until my oldest brother, he learned about Texas Southern University. He was coming from the University of Alabama, and he wanted to transfer to a university that provided a great pharmacy program. And he researched, and Texas Southern was among top universities that offer that within Texas. So he transferred from the University of Alabama and finished his last year of Texas Southern University. And by him coming out here, registering, and we as a family coming out here assisting him, that put Texas Southern for me on the map. I mean, seeing the school, seeing the people, I really enjoyed the atmosphere, and I wanted to come here.
Oh, okay. Describe the campus, then compare it, then what it is like now.
Then in reference to when I attended? Okay. I would say not much have changed.
Okay.
But the campus life and the camaraderie between the students and the overall campus, it was a little bit more festive and not so much uptight or restricted. But that also comes with time, and it also comes with the demographics who you reach out to. There was more students on the campus when I was here. I didn't come directly after I graduated. I decided to stay home and attend community college until I felt comfortable for me to move away. I came out here shortly of my sophomore year. So when I came here, like I said, the population was a little bit more, but also just because the population wasn't more doesn't mean it made it better. Some areas was congested, like the Tiger Walk. It used to be packed, and it used to be hard to walk through just to get to class. So it was things like that change is inevitable to occur, but that's the only thing I can really think of that has changed since I've been here.
Okay. And like, describe like your personal experience about TSU?
My personal experience with TSU is it helped me grow, not only academically, but personally. Coming in as a young adult, transitioning from living at home to living on your own, that was a huge change. And by living in the dorms, living on campus, meeting different people with different backgrounds, it helped you build a broader spectrum. Well, it helped me build a broader spectrum of life outside of what you're used to, outside of what you was raised, and it helped me make life choices, either good or bad. I mean, if I made bad ones, I learned from my mistakes and know not to do it anymore. So that's the biggest thing that I would take from this university, is just molding me into the adult I am today.
Okay. And what was your major when you attended?
My major was health education with a minor in kinesiology.
Okay. And were you like passing all of your classes?
Yeah, I had my good and bad times, of course. I think my freshman year, sophomore year, it was more of trying to find myself or fit in of the changes. But once I got within my senior year, I think that's when it really clicked, like, okay, it's time to buckle down. It's time to focus on my career, on my education, and start making the right decisions.
Okay. And who would you identify as like an important teacher, like a role model to you?
I would have to say, academically, one of my favorite role models would have to be Dr. Gordon. She was not only the professor, but she was also the chair over in the health and kinesiology department. She really went above and beyond the call of duty to help not only with academically but life choices. I mean, she really took the time to sit down and really help you map out if this is right for you, this career path that you're deciding to go to.
Okay. What kind of interactions did you have with people not in your racial background?
Say that one more time.
Like, what kind of interaction did you have with people not in your racial background?
As far as on college, I would say not that much. When I was here, we had diverse, but it wasn't that much of a diverse. To say that I had any kind of interaction. I did have other race of friends that I interacted with on a daily basis and also worked with on campus. But I cannot pinpoint that much. It wasn't that much diverse when I was here to even.
Which part of American history sticks out to you the most?
Which part? I would have to say it's American history. I would have to say my African American studies, that stuck out with me the most. And also is going into more literature, world literature. When I took that class, that really stuck out for me the most.
Okay, can you tell me why?
I would say it was probably the instructor. Literature was always my, I won't say weakest point, but my least focused classes. But the instructor made it interesting, and he made it more understanding and a little bit more realistic for me to grasp.
Okay, and like in your perspective, why do you think that HBCU is so important?
I think HBCUs are important because it gives students or individuals who are not represented a voice, and it gives those who want to learn more about African Americans or just the culture in itself, an opportunity to see firsthand and to experience firsthand what kind of interaction or what kind of cultural background that we all come from.
Mm-hmm.
We can relate. It's something that we can relate to one another. And also, don't pass any judgment. Just because you're considered one race doesn't mean we all experience the same thing or we all come from the same background, but therefore we embrace that same background and accept it.
Okay, and like, how did it prepare you for where you are now?
It has prepared me greatly. Like I said, I came to TSU undergrad. As an undergrad, I began working here at the Recreation Center. From there, I have grown into becoming the director of the Recreation Center. So it goes back to what I said, it changed my life. It wasn't just academically, but just my life in general.
Okay, and what advice would you give to young people today?
The advice I would give is to follow your dreams, follow your goals, and don't get deterred or frustrated if those goals are not met when you feel they are met. Have a direction, but be okay to change the direction if it occurs.
Okay, and that's it for the interview.
Okay, thank you.